Saturn in Pisces. The challenge. Yours is the test of providing form and structure for your faith and beliefs. Do you believe in a greater intelligence that is somehow guiding the development of your life? Or do you find despair and disappointment around every corner as things just do not seem to work out as you planned? This is precisely the challenge of developing faith to overcome its flip side, fear. The more you learn to be responsible for your inner life by setting aside quality time for the development of your spiritual character, the more the chaos subsides in your life. An important question that you must ask yourself is, did I come here to suffer or to celebrate my spiritual life? It seems a ludicrous question, but it is relevant with this placement. When you are responsible to the Saturn and Pisces need for inner activity, then you find healthy spiritual or creative activities that pull you into your inner world. If you have not disciplined your spiritual life with Saturn, then it is likely that your relationships are chaotic and clouded by illusions. This creates disappointments and suffering that require you to go off by yourself to work through your pain in your inner world. So you get your private inner world one way or another, through celebrating or through suffering. It is your choice, your challenge. Overcompensation. Self-pity and all of its manifestations is likely to be an issue that can undermine your happiness until you discipline this part of your character as if it were an indulgence that you must control. Any number of variations on the theme of the Mercury are likely to come up for you in your relationships. You equate being a good person with caring for others, and when you become excessive about this, you become the worrier. In overcoming your fear of not being compassionate, you become animated by guilt and seem compelled to take on the worries and problems of the world. Another manifestation of overcompensating with this placement is becoming so devout in Pisces that you miss much of the adventure that life offers. Perhaps you were raised with the fear of a punishing God, leading to a moral rigidity. Your faith becomes a set of rules instead of an enriching spiritual experience. Projection. If you have a fear of being swallowed up in the chaos of your emotions, you are likely to protect yourself against them and will tend to dislike emotional types, classifying them as unrealistic dreamers. You insist on a rational life and become irritated with others when they follow their feelings and instincts without a sound, rational basis. If you are going through a strong denial of this in yourself, you tend to attract the victim type of person as a relationship partner. This person always seems to be a victim of their moods and goes through periodic bouts of guilt, suffering over concern for others. Although you do not like to do it, you get pulled in and seem to have to help this person organize their feelings and get a grip on reality. When you are spending an inordinate amount of time helping others build form and structure in their emotional life, it is a sure sign that you need to do just that for yourself. You need to become responsible for establishing emotional boundaries and creating disciplined time with your inner world so you can keep your emotions in perspective. Then you will not feel overwhelmed by the needs of others and will be able to define your boundaries without being insensitive to others' needs. Balanced expression. You have a disciplined spiritual life and can help others find meaning in life beyond worldly ambitions. You have learned to take responsibility for your emotional character and can get involved with the emotional lives of others without becoming overwhelmed. You have become the epitome of the compassionate person, yet not to the degree of becoming long-suffering. You seem to know the limits of what you can realistically do for others and have learned that it is not your responsibility to process the emotions of others. You realize that the greatest gift you can give to others is to become a pillar of spiritual strength in your own life. You have found ways to serve others without denying yourself. You have realized that you can passively feel the suffering that is in the world, or you can actively do something about it, and you have chosen the path of responsible, compassionate action. Understanding Saturn and Pisces and others. Saturn and Pisces individuals are extremely sensitive, and until they have disciplined themselves to gently float on the ever-changing tides of their emotions, they seem to be a victim of their moods. They are learning to take responsibility for their emotional character and need to learn to define their boundaries without shutting others out. These individuals might periodically drift into martyring behavior patterns. Whenever you suspect this is the case, ask them directly, is your life about suffering or about celebrating? My bad. If they are still facing the challenge of this placement, they will periodically be overcome by the empathy they feel for the pain in the world. When they have mastered this challenge, they have found ways to do their part in helping others by engaging in some type of compassionate service without going through self-denial in the process. They can be a source of spiritual strength for you by helping you see the deeper meaning of the events in your life. When you feel a need to be listened to without fear of judgment, these are the friends to rely on.